5 boundaries men must set early, or she'll walk all over you. In dating, women don't test men they don't want. They test the man that they hope will be strong enough to handle them. So, if you're noticing she's pushing, pulling, taking her time to reply, or asking for just one more favor, listen to me carefully. These 5 boundaries will save you from getting walked over, used, or drained before the relationship even starts. Let's get into it. Jessica O here. Welcome to the channel. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 most critical boundaries men must set early in a relationship. Miss even one of these, and you'll spend the next 6 months wondering why she stopped respecting you altogether. Set them correctly, and she'll treat you like a man she can trust, admire, and follow. If you're ready, let's jump right in. Boundary number 1, you keep your financial life to yourself early on. So, money is one of the biggest traps men fall into without realizing it, simply because men equate providing with proving music their worth. And women know this consciously or not. A woman doesn't have to ask you for money to start assessing your financial potential. She's observing your spending, your lifestyle, your generosity, your stability, your boundaries long before she commits. Here's what you need to understand. The moment you expose your financial life too early, you stop being a man she's getting to know and start being a resource that she's evaluating. You think you're just chatting. Maybe you mention your salary, how much you earn. You talk about how much money you saved this year. You casually bring up investments you have. You tell her how much you spent on the car that you're driving. You talk about the trips you're planning for the rest of the year. You mention bonuses, raises. Some of you share too much. And it's usually not because you're bragging. You're probably just comfortable with her. But what she hears is this: okay, this man is financially stable. Let me see what he can do. In that moment, you unknowingly shift the dynamic from romance to financial evaluation. And once you become a financial asset in her mind, you lose emotional leverage. Hear me. Understand that most women are wired to seek security, safety, and stability. Provision as well. It's instinct. However, understanding her instincts doesn't mean you should expose your wallet. Your finances are not an audition. You don't prove your love by proving your income. Once you make this mistake, the financial tests will begin. She casually mentions a bill she's behind on, or things have been tight lately, or how she's frustrated with some money stuff, or how she needs to get her car fixed, but it's expensive. The request will just start coming. She's not directly asking music for money. She's simply creating space to see how you respond. A lot of men fail here because they instantly say, "Oh, I got you. I can help you with that. Congratulations. You just promoted yourself to the monetary support category." See, once she realizes you're willing to solve financial problems before you're in a committed relationship, she will subconsciously assign you the role of provider without giving you the title of a partner. Creating a boundary saves you from exploitation. A woman should earn access to your emotional, physical, and yes, financial resources, not receive them as a welcome package. This means don't reveal your income early. Don't talk about your savings or investments. Don't overtip the waiter just to impress her. Don't buy gifts too early. Don't volunteer financial help. Definitely don't show off purchases or costs. Your money stays private while she's still deciding if she wants to be a part of your life. So, how can you set this boundary without coming across as cheap? Now, I get it. A lot of men fear setting financial boundaries because it makes them look stingy, but it doesn't. It makes you look wise. Now, when she hints at finances, hear me. You could say something like, "I get it. Money stress sucks. I'm sure you got it. You'll handle it." Music, it's short. It's supportive. You've closed the door. No offer, no guilt, no financial entanglement. Or if she directly asks, just say, "I don't mix finances early on, but I hope things get sorted out for you." This tells her exactly what kind of a man you are. A man with discipline and structure. A man who protects himself. A man she can't manipulate with her circumstances. Snorts. Now, a woman who's truly interested in you will respect this boundary immediately. She'll actually feel safer because you're showing leadership and self-control. A woman with questionable intentions will get irritated, withdraw, and ultimately lose interest. And that's perfect because you just saved yourself time, money, energy, heartbreak, right? Financial boundaries act like a filter. They separate women who want you from women who want what you can provide. Remember that boundary too. You don't tolerate disrespect. Music, not even once. So a lot of men expect disrespect to be obvious, loud. They're waiting for that dramatic attitude, shouting, or insults. But disrespect rarely starts loud. It actually starts subtle. Music, she interrupts you every time you speak. She makes passive-aggressive jokes, says just teasing. compares you to her ex, rolls her eyes, ignores your messages, but demands instant replies from you. Most men let it slide because they don't want to start drama. But avoiding conflict is exactly how you become the man she stops respecting. Hear me. Women sometimes test men with disrespect, music, because they are subconsciously evaluating you. Are you a leader or a pushover? Are you confident or insecure? Music. Will you assert your boundaries or fold? Are you the kind of man she can trust? Women will not admire a man they can walk over, and they cannot love a man they cannot admire. Let's look at the scenario. Okay, you're out with her and a couple of friends. Everyone's talking, music, laughing, having a good time. Then one of her friends goes like, "Oh, so how are things going with him while you're sitting there?" And instead of answering respectfully, she says something like, he's all right." When he's not being clueless, everyone laughs. Even she laughs a little too hard. You force some kind of a smile, pretend that it didn't sting. You tell yourself, "Oh, she was just joking." Here's what just happened. She used you as a punchline to entertain her friends. She publicly lowered your status. She signaled that she can disrespect you without consequences. And the real damage isn't the joke. It's what follows. Hear me. Her friends now see you as the guy she doesn't take seriously. She sees you as the guy who doesn't stand up for himself. And the dynamic will shift permanently against you. So this is where a lot of men fail themselves. They think, staying silent means you're easygoing, but it actually makes you look powerless, because the moment a woman realizes you'll tolerate disrespect in public, she'll learn to disrespect you in private as well. High-value men don't explode or embarrass her back in such situations. They address it calmly and immediately, not angry, not emotional. A high-value man will say something like, "Don't do that again." Direct, controlled, masculine. That one sentence resets the entire dynamic. It tells her and everyone else in the room that you carry yourself with respect and you won't be used for entertainment. Trust me, a woman stops clowning a man, music, instantly when she realizes he's not afraid to draw the line. Respect isn't demanded, it's enforced. Boundary number 3, your time isn't free just because you like her. So most men ruin the dynamic before the first real date even happens because they turn their time into an unlimited buffet that she didn't pay for. I'll paint a picture. You meet a woman you really like. She's beautiful, she's engaging, laughs at your jokes, gives you just enough attention to keep you hooked. And because you want to impress her, you start doing the things that destroy attraction faster than anything else. And what is that? You become instantly available. She texts, "What are you doing tonight?" And suddenly your plans disappear. Dinner with your boys canceled. Workout moved. Why? Because you're terrified of missing your shot. Now, I can't say this enough. A woman does not respect a man whose world rearranges itself the moment she appears. Women test your time because they're not just evaluating you. They're evaluating your life structure. A man with a mission doesn't drop everything for a "hey stranger" kind of text message. A man with purpose doesn't reschedule his goals to prove his interest. A man with a backbone doesn't chase availability. He protects it. For example, if she texts you at 9:30 p.m. and says, "Come over, I miss you," but let's say you've got a big morning tomorrow. I know a lot of men who would sprint to their car, but if you're high value, you'll say something like, "I'd like to see music, you too, but tonight doesn't work. Let's get together tomorrow." Do you notice the tone? No attitude, no insecurity, just a man who respects his own schedule more than he respects music, her impulses. And you see, when you do this, it does two powerful things in her mind. It signals maturity and self-control, music, and it creates anticipation. When she doesn't get you on demand, she starts valuing the time that she can get because ultimately, we admire men who treat their time like currency and not confetti. Boundary number 4, no emotional dumping before commitment. If there's one trap men fall into too easily, it's becoming the emotional support system for a woman who hasn't chosen them yet. I'll be blunt. A woman sharing a little about her life is normal. But when you're 3 conversations in and suddenly she's telling you how her ex traumatized her, how her family stresses her out, how she's always choosing the wrong men, how every guy she's dated treated her badly, you're not bonding, you're being recruited, hear me. Most men confuse this with her being intimate, sharing personal details. They think, "Oh, wow, she must trust me." But no, she's testing how much emotional labor you're willing to take on before she gives you anything real in return. And here's how it usually plays out. She calls you crying about a fight with her mom. You stay up for 2 hours calming her down. She thanks you and then texts another guy the next morning. Why did that happen? Because you gave her emotional comfort without relationship commitment. And once you step into that role of fixer, therapist, emotional sponge, you start being the man she uses for stability. What I'm saying is, the man who becomes her emotional safety net too early loses that mystery, that tension, that masculine polarity that's required for attraction. So, how should your boundary look like? Stay empathetic. All right? Listen. But don't go deep until she's willing to give emotional effort back. She has to earn access to your emotional resources the same way you earn access to hers, because emotional intimacy is currency. And you don't hand out currency to someone who hasn't invested in you. Plain and simple. And now, time for the final boundary. Boundary number 5. You don't chase when she pulls back. I have videos and videos about this particular topic, but let me rush through it here. When a woman starts pulling away, most men panic. Now you're the one initiating every conversation. Now her messages are dry, cold, delayed. And because you like her, because you don't want to lose her, because you felt things were going well between you guys, you start doing one thing guaranteed to push her away even further. You begin to try harder while she tries less. First mistake is filling the silence that she creates. When she reduces her effort and you increase yours, attraction dies. It dies because the power balance shifts and you're stuck chasing her validation instead. Music of letting her meet you halfway. Second mistake, trying to fix her distance. Men assume that something's wrong. Maybe she's music stressed, confused. Maybe someone else is in the picture, so they offer reassurance. Music. Hey, I'm here if you need anything. You can talk to me. Every message says the same thing. I'm afraid of losing you, and nothing kills respect. Music faster than fear-based communication. Third mistake you do, music, is overcompensating to win her back. You start planning thoughtful dates. You send compliments. You act sweeter. You give more attention. You do favors. You try to remind her why she liked you. But attraction doesn't return because you increase effort. Attraction returns when she starts missing right what she used to get from you. She can't miss a man who's standing right in front of her all the time begging for closeness. Remember that. Never reward distance with effort. If she's a woman worth your time, she'll come back with more intention, more consistency, more effort. If she doesn't, it simply means that she wasn't yours. And your boundary simply revealed the truth faster. And that right there is the power of not chasing. Come on, guys. Come on, come on, come on. Set these 5 boundaries early and you won't need to fight for her respect. You'll get it naturally. Jessica OS here. Catch you in the next video. Cheers.